Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Ever look at your property tax assessment and wonder how on earth did they come up with that number?
Mm-hmm.
Well, get ready to be in the know, because today we're taking you behind the curtain
Yeah.
into the world of real estate
Like
surveyors.
tip rate.
Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear real estate surveyor, I don't picture like an action-packed thriller.
Right.
But as we dug into this research, it turns out this career path is way more interesting and impactful than it might seem at first glance.
Yeah, it really is like at the core.
Yeah.
Real estate surveyors are kind of like the guardians of fair property taxation.
Yeah.
They're the ones determining how much properties are worth,
Right.
which obviously then dictates how much we all pay in taxes, individuals and businesses.
Totally. And our source defines what they do as valuing properties for tax purposes, conducting thorough research, and applying precise appraisal techniques.
Mm,
So they're like the financial detectives of real estate.
exactly. And it's a lot more than just looking at a spreadsheet or two.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they have to consider location and the property's condition and market trends. Even zoning comes into play.
Wow. Okay, so this isn't just like a sit in your cubicle all day kind of job.
Not at all. I mean, remember that line from the source. They investigate multiple properties at once using accurate appraisal techniques.
Yeah.
So it's a very dynamic field, requires analytical thinking, but also on-the-ground research. And you've got to be good with people.
People skills. Now, that's not what I expected. What do you mean?
Well, think about it. They're talking with property owners, real estate agents, sometimes even lawyers.
All right.
You got to communicate clearly, negotiate fairly, and explain sometimes very complex valuations simply.
That's a lot.
It is.
I'm starting to see how this could be a good fit for someone who likes problem solving and a good challenge. But every job has its pros and cons, right? What were some of the things we found?
So speaking of those skills, what does it really take to be a real estate surveyor?
Yeah, let's get into that. The source mentions reading comprehension, critical thinking, even speaking. That's,
Yeah.
well, that's a lot.
Right. It's more than just being good at math,
Right.
which you definitely need to be.
Yeah.
But take analytical skills, for instance. It's about looking at the data, finding those trends, and then figuring out what it all means.
Okay.
Those conclusions, well, you got to be able to explain them clearly, concisely, and make sure they're persuasive.
Oh, so that's where speaking comes in.
Exactly. You're a detective and a storyteller all in one.
Wow. I like
You have to put together the story of a property's value using data and trends and your own judgment.
Uh-huh.
And like a good storyteller knows their setting, a real estate surveyor better know their legal and governmental stuff.
Right.
Zoning laws, regulations, tax codes, the whole 9 yards.
Zoning laws. Oh, man. That reminds me, I almost bought this cute little bungalow a while back.
Oh, yeah.
I was totally set on it. Turns out, because of some crazy zoning thing, I wouldn't have even been allowed to run my business from there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, talk about dodging a bullet.
Yeah.
Really shows how important it is to know all those little legal details.
It really is.
Okay, so this job is way more involved than we thought at first.
Yeah.
But what about the career path itself? Is it straightforward or more, I don't know, a winding road?
I'd say it's more of a,
So-
well, it's generally pretty clear cut from what I've seen.
Well, okay, so our research was right about that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
usually start entry level, right? So you're getting your feet wet, helping the senior surveyors with research, data collection, that kind of thing,
Mhm.
building that foundation. Then you move up, become a junior surveyor. More responsibility then, you're doing more of the valuation yourself, even dealing with clients some.
And then you make it to the top, senior surveyor.
Exactly. Leading teams, figuring out how valuations are done, consulting on the really big projects. It shows how much you've learned.
Makes sense. And speaking of learning, the source mentioned certifications like MAI and AIGRS. What are those all about?
Ah, those are a big deal. Not quite like a secret handshake, but they show you've got serious expertise in real estate valuation,
Yeah.
like the MAI, that's a member of the Appraisal Institute.
Oh, I see.
It's not easy to get, and you need to pass a tough test and show you really know your stuff when it comes to valuation.
So almost like the PhD of being a surveyor.
That's a good way to put it. Those credentials show commitment, and they can open doors to some pretty amazing jobs.
I bet. It's cool that even in a field that's been around forever, there's still so much to learn.
Totally.
It's perfect for someone with, well, a learner mindset.
It is.
So now I'm thinking, this all sounds great, but where do I even start if I want to be a surveyor? Did our research have anything on that?
It did. And this is something you'll appreciate, I think, given how much you like to be prepared.
Oh, What is it?
The source mentioned RoleCatcher. Have you heard of it?
It rings a bell, but remind me.
Yeah, so it's this online platform, right?
Yeah.
Huge database of interview questions for like tons of different careers.
Okay.
And yeah, you guessed it, Real Estate Surveyor is one of them.
Gotcha. Okay, I see where this is going.
We're talking over 120,000 practice questions.
Wow. 120,000.
Talk about a gold mine if you want
Yeah.
to nail that interview, right?
Now you're speaking my language. I love to be over-prepared.
And it's not just generic stuff. They have questions specifically about being a real estate surveyor.
Oh.
Like one I saw was, how do you determine the value of a property that has unique features, things you don't see every day?
Ooh, that's a good one. Really makes you think.
Right. Tests your knowledge, but also how you solve problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So RoleCatcher basically gives you a sneak peek at what it's really like on the job.
Yep. Plus, they have a free option, so you can check it out. No pressure.
That's awesome. I bet our listeners, especially the ones thinking about changing careers, will really appreciate that.
For sure.
So it's clear this whole real estate surveyor thing, it's way more than meets the eye.
It really is.
It's one of those fields that's intellectually stimulating, offers that flexibility a lot of people are looking for, and it's a vital role, making sure those property taxes are fair.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you can always keep learning and growing.
Totally.
That perfect mix of analytical thinking, real-world problem solving, and even some good old-fashioned human interaction. Who would have thought property valuation could be this interesting?
Right.
There you have it, everyone. Hope this deep dive gave you a fresh perspective on real estate surveyors. Knowledge is power, and whether this is your dream career or you're just curious about the world, we'll keep bringing you these deep dives. Until next time, stay curious.